Thank you. Minister of Defense and Military Veterans in South Africa, Honorable A. Motshekga, South African Military Ombud, Lieutenant General Retired Pierre Masondo, Deputy Director DKEF, Ms. Beatrice Godfrey, Deputy Military Ombud of South Africa, Advocate SDB Tamani Mkosana, all ombudsmen heads present, colleagues and friends, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 17th ICOF. Our theme for this conference is Building Bridges, Awareness and Outreach Efforts by Ombuds Institutions. It is indeed a troubled world that we are living in. We are going through a lot, ladies and gentlemen. And at this point in time, I would just ask every one of us to stand up and let us observe the moment of silence. May you please stand up. May we please bow our heads for a moment. Thank you very much. We may be seated. Without much waste of time, I will just go through the programmatic formation of our day today. The first hour will be dedicated, that is from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. It will be dedicated to the three speakers, the eminent speakers. That would be the Minister of Military and Defense in South Africa, Honorable Angie Motshekga. She will thereupon be followed by the Lieutenant General Retired Masondo, the South African Military Ombud, and then subsequently he will be followed by Ms. Beatrice Godfrey, Deputy Director, DKEF. Minister of Defense and Military Veterans, allow me to begin to start with a quotation by the eminent former President Thabo Mbeki, and I quote, "Those who complete the course will do so only because they do not. As fatigue sets in, convince themselves that the road ahead is still too long, the inclines too steep, the loneliness impossible to bear, and the prize itself of doubtful value," close quote. Minister, that captures the essence of what we are here for. As we are about to build bridges, ladies and gentlemen, we cannot afford to be lonely. We cannot say the inclines are too steep, and we cannot let fatigue set in. It is a conference that will start today and end tomorrow. Yesterday night, I did iterate and posit, Minister, that we are here to drive oversight. We are here to drive good governance within our armed forces and the civil-military architecture. And I did intone that deep in the struggles of our lives, we need to pay homage to the ladies or the females and do away with male chauvinism. And I did also intone, Minister, I'm just giving a brief overview, General, that you strike a woman, you strike a rock. And I did indicate that we also make it a point that in these discussions, we will also visit the issue of gender equality. And when we talk about women, we talk about the epitome of governance. We talk about the drivers of change. It is indeed, ladies and gentlemen, an honor for me and a privilege to welcome our Honorable Minister of Defense in South Africa, Ms. Angie Motshekga. Can you give her a round of applause?
From the onset, Program Director must indicate I have flu, so my voice and my running nose will interrupt me, but I hope you'll bear with me. Let me start off by acknowledging our ombuds, our retired Lieutenant General Babu Masondo. Also acknowledge Advocate Simpiwe Damani Kwasana, who's our Deputy Military Ombuds. In absentia, my colleague from Parliament was expected, but I didn't see him today. Also acknowledge the Deputy Director of the Geneva Center of Security Sector, Ms. Beatrice Gorefro. I was trained in the morning to try and get the pronunciation right. I guess I'm close to it. But also acknowledge the eminent dignitaries that are here and prominent ombuds men present here, our esteemed colleagues, our distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. We have 11 languages, so I'm going to be greeting you in all 11 official languages. It's good morning, goeiemorgen, absheni, ndimachero, molweni, dumelang, tober. So let me stop at 7. Funditi molweni, or molweni sanbonani. So it means good morning in all the 11 languages. And thank you very much for honoring us. I did say to the Deputy Director that we feel very honored that you gave us an opportunity to co-host with you. We are very humbled and thank you very much for giving us that opportunity. Program Director, it is for me an honor that I stand before you today to discuss a matter of utmost importance, ensuring the effective functioning and outreach of ombuds institutions, not only in our country, but as a global phenomenon. And the ombuds institutions present here today, as we work together towards strengthening our democratic institutions, there's always a critical need to raise awareness about the role and functions of the ombuds offices, particularly in matters concerning the defense security. Ombuds institutions play a very important role in safeguarding the rights and interests of citizens, especially those who may feel voiceless in the face of complex government structures and processes, especially the Defense Force. I was sharing with Beatrice that I come from a civilian department. Processes are not as complex and as tight as they are in the defense sector. So ombuds act as a bridge between the public and government, ensuring that complaints are heard, investigated, and addressed fairly and transparently. And this function is essential for building trust in the state's ability to serve its people with fairness and respect, whilst aspiring to build ethical, capable, and developmental states. The Ministry of Defense, like all other sectors of global governments, has a duty to uphold the values of accountability, transparency, and the protection of human rights. And our responsibility extends not only to our soldiers, to our sailors and airmen, but to every citizen of this country, as their lives are deeply intertwined with our national security landscape. Chair, I must emphasize that awareness and outreach cannot be discounted, and a well-informed and empowered public is fundamental to maintaining the integrity and the legitimacy of our defense institutions. Awareness of ombuds institutions is a cornerstone of citizens' engagement. Many people, especially those who face challenges in public service delivery, often do not know where to turn to for help or recourse in the realm of defense, and this could mean the difference between a soldier suffering from unjust treatment and the establishment of fair, transparent investigation into the matter. So raising awareness about the existence and functions of the ombuds offices does ensure that individuals have access to the tools they need to voice concerns, seek redress, and hold institutions accountable. Furthermore, an informed citizenry leads to strong democratic processes. When individuals understand their rights and know how to engage with ombuds and institutions, they become active participants in the process of governance. They not only protect their own rights, but also contribute to improvement of the public service. This fosters a culture of responsibility and transparency, which is essential for building trust in both the military and civil institutions that govern us. Apologies. Equally important is outreach in order to reach as many people as possible. Ombuds institutions must be accessible, inclusive, and proactive in their outreach efforts. Because accessibility is not just about physical proximity, but also about ensuring that the public has a clear understanding of how to approach these offices, how to lodge complaints, and how the process will unfold. It is essential that Ombuds institutions communicate in language that is understandable, that their services are available to all segments of the population, including those in remote areas. We in the Ministry of Defense do understand the importance of engaging with our communities and the public, whether through outreach programs, education campaigns, or even public-facing events. So it is imperative that we continue to build on our efforts to connect citizens with Ombuds institutions and make them aware of the services available to them. The work of Ombuds institutions cannot be done in isolation. It is only through collaboration with other government entities, civil society organizations, and key stakeholders that we can effectively promote awareness and ensure access to justice, and must include also international bodies as we have here, to say collaborating amongst ourselves as countries, but also globally, does and will enrich the work that we do. So in the defense sector, for example, it is critical that Ombuds offices have open lines of communication with our military leadership, human rights organizations, and other stakeholders to address grievances and ensure that proper functioning of our armed forces. By working together, we can create a robust network of support for individuals, particularly those serving in our communities, who may face difficulties related to their services in this way. Ombuds institutions will not only become a source of redress, but also act as a means of preventing injustices when it happens, or before it even happens. At the heart of this conversation, our collective commitment to transparency and accountability is very important. In our country, the Ministry of Defense, under the leadership of our President Cyril Ramaphosa, remains resolute in its commitment to uphold the principles of good governance. We do believe that our national defense forces must be a model of professionalism, of fairness, and respect for the rule of law. This role, of course, must be supplemented by broader oversight from the Office of the South African Military Ombuds as an objective, complementary, and not opposing mechanism. As such, it is very important that the Ombuds institutions have the necessary support to carry out their work effectively. This means ensuring that their operations are adequately resourced, that their independence is respected, and that they are empowered to take decisive action when necessary. Chair, the commitment to awareness and outreach cannot be complete until the gender issues are being comprehensively addressed, because all Ombuds institutions must strive to uphold and promote zero tolerance to gender-based violence in any form whatsoever. So in conclusion, Program Director, the role of the Ombuds institutions is indispensable to the fabric of a democratic society. By raising awareness and enhancing outreach, we're not only helping individuals exercise their rights, but also reinforcing the values of justice, fairness, and accountability in our society. So I wish to encourage all of us, government officials, military leaders, civil society groups, and citizens to work together in promoting these essential services and ensuring that every South African or every citizen has access to the mechanisms that can hold the state accountable for its actions. Together, let us continue to build a solid democratic oversight over security sector, reform, and governance, where transparency, fairness, and justice are cornerstones of our democracy, and where Ombuds institutions stand as a pillar of hope and protection for all. So I wish everyone here present, the Ombuds family gathered here, the best of luck and a great engagement and conversation, and we'll be looking forward to the outcomes of the conference for us to also learn from them. Thank you very much, Program Director.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just received a call from the President of South Africa himself. And remember yesterday I showed you a picture or the cover page of our program, the Union Buildings. He has assured me that he is still there today, this morning. He didn't hear that round of applause. Can we do it again, please? Thank you very much. Minister of Defense and Military Veterans, Honorable N.G. Motshekga, intoned on a few aspects, and the takeaways from where I was sitting was the issue of trust, building trust, collaboration. And indeed, Minister, we did visit those concepts yesterday in our preamble to this conference. On this different note, colleagues, I should stand firmly here and say that the South African Military Ombud has indeed done a very good work in terms of oversight within the civil and military architecture. Much as we are the only military ombud that is existing in Africa of its kind, we also appeal to our counterparts that are here in the global south to say that you need to spread the gospel. We need to have more of these institutions. From the global north, we have learned a lot through DCAF. We have accelerated our practices. Every time there's something new, and we also embrace that. Without much waste of time, I would call upon the South African Military Ombud to give us a welcome address as well. Can we please give the Ombud a round of applause?
Thank you very much, Program Director. The Minister of Defense and Military Veterans, Honorable N.G. Motshekga. I'm going to acknowledge in absentia Honorable Co-Chairperson of the Joint Standing Committee on Defense, Dr. Malusi Kikaba, who will be joining us shortly. Deputy Director, Geneva Center for Security Sector Governance, Ms. Beatrice Godefroy. The Deputy Military Ombud Advocate Simpiwe Damane Mkosana, eminent dignitaries, fellow ombudsmen, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I extend a warm welcome and express my sincere appreciation to you all for your attendance this morning. I also wish to take this opportunity to express gratitude to Ambassador Natalie Schuart and the DCAF staff for electing to host ICOAF in South Africa once again. You'll recall that we hosted ICOAF in 2018. And of course, express our gratitude again to the Joint Standing Committee on Defense for their steadfast support and consistent efforts to ensure that my office is always held accountable and delivers on its mandate. Of course, gratitude as well to the Minister of Defense and Military Veterans, Honorable N.G. Motshekga, for your unwavering support and affording us your precious time this morning. We know your schedule is always very busy, but we really appreciate that you could be with us and open for us this morning, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, constructing and maintaining a humane society involves perpetual struggle and vigilance. It is not the result of an inevitable victory of good over evil. Given this, we must continue to pursue the effective execution of our mandates in both the global north and the global south. Our pursuit takes on an increasing significance in times such as these, where the foundations of our past histories are being tested. Historically, the quest for military oversight and democratic governance would have likely proven to be a near impossible task. Despite the present day challenges, we are fortunate to benefit from the robust vehicle that ICOAF affords Ombuds institutions globally. The opportunity for regular discourse regarding innovative security sector reform connects our institutions, allowing us to develop a united force that calls for good governance and the harmonization of civil-military relations. As Ombuds institutions, we need to shift from the culture of authority to a culture of institutional transformation for those we oversee. This means that each Ombuds institution must ensure that every finding or exercise of public power by government is not only procedurally compliant, but substantially justifiable. Similarly, there is a normal demand on our institution to equally ensure that administrative justice and human rights are upheld with substantive justification. Esteemed ladies and gentlemen, our 17th ICOAF topic, building bridges, awareness and outreach efforts by Ombuds institution, is timely when we consider the conflict and instability that proliferates many regions in the world. Whilst our institution operational mandates are defined and active, at times we neglect outreach and awareness efforts. If we do not coordinate cohesive awareness and outreach programs to expand our reach in times of greater need, then this inaction can contribute to a tinderbox that has the potential to set aflame the goals of harmonizing civil-military relations, promoting security sector reform, and ensuring good governance. Therefore, the topic calls on us to ask ourselves, how can we succeed in sensitizing our stakeholders to our work as mediators for the resolution of complaints? What would befall our quest for democratic governance if awareness and outreach efforts are inactive, not impactful, and totally absent? Whether in public health, workplace safety, environmental conservation, or social justice, failing to communicate effectively and engage communities can result in profound and far-reaching consequences. The negative effects of missing and ineffectual outreach can be traced back to 5 broad areas as follows. First, when outreach is absent, risks often go unidentified and unaddressed. This not only has the potential to harm individuals, but imposes heavy financial costs, damages reputations, and may trigger legal penalties. Without awareness efforts, unsafe conditions persist in silence, undermining the foundation of trust and security that every community and organization depends on. Second, a lack of awareness reduces the participation and collaboration needed for collective action. Outreach builds bridges, empowering communities and militaries to understand challenges deeply and motivating them to take part in implementing the proposed solution. Without it, marginalized groups remain excluded, public apathy rises, and efforts to address critical issues they stall. As a result, inadequate awareness diminishes societal resilience, dampens the voice of citizens, and delays progress towards important goals such as health promotion, environmental sustainability, and social inclusion. Third, when organizations or governments fail to raise awareness, accountability suffers. Informed citizens are essential for holding leaders responsible and ensuring that policies and intervention reflect real needs. The absence of outreach weakens democratic participation and the political will to implement meaningful change. Consequently, this leads to unfulfilled commitments, wasted resources, growing disengagement, and low morale. Fourth, poor and missing outreach can allow a culture of fear, misinformation, and mistrust to thrive. People often rely on accurate and transparent communication to make informed decisions. When this is absent in the civil-military space, myths flourish, misunderstanding deepen divisions, and resistance to necessary change grows. The imperative of Ombuds institution face is that we should never permit our armed forces and public to be at loggerheads. We must transform the soul of our social contract to advance democratic governance, accountability, people-driven service, and transparency. Planned and impactful outreach and awareness mitigate these dangers by fostering open dialogue, empathy, and shared understanding in our journey of mediation. Fifth and finally, a failure to address dangers through outreach may also compromise emergency preparedness and timely response. Awareness campaigns provide critical knowledge about risk, preventive measures, and actions during crisis. Without such efforts, individuals and communities unfamiliar with the crucial role played by our institution could remain unprepared, raising the likelihood of preventable harm and loss. Necessarily and inevitably, Ombuds institutions act as early warning mechanisms to influence institutional policy and practice. In conclusion, outreach and awareness are not optional activities. They are fundamental pillars of safety, development, and social cohesion. Neglecting these efforts put lives at risk, wastes opportunities, and weakens the very fabric of our communities and administration of the armed forces, while undermining corrective redress in institutions we oversee. Ladies and gentlemen, during this 17th ICOF, let us commit today to prioritize and invest in effective outreach strategies. Let us listen, engage, and empower all sectors of society, ensuring that no one is left behind, and that we confront outreach and awareness challenges with knowledge, collaboration, and courage. A failure to do so creates risks that we cannot afford, triggering a legitimacy of crisis if our institutions fail to respond to systemic inequality that is prevalent social factor of our time. At this stage, I wish to leave the discussions of this topic to the esteemed panelists and moderators to take us into their confidence as far as the topic is concerned. With these opening remarks, I wish to declare the 17th ICOAF officially open. Thank you very much.